63% of sales professionals missed their quota in 2023. What's interesting is that they spend 28% of their time selling, and the other 72% on their calendar was focused on activities that did not directly contribute to their sales success. Our most uncomfortable tasks are usually what will bring us the most results. Cold calling that CEO, preparing that difficult demo presentation, following up on that deal where the prospect has ghosted you. Do it first thing in the morning. Slack channels. Did you actually know how the dictionary defines the word slacking? It literally means neglecting order or discipline. Good morning, everyone. Pleasure and honor to be the first keynote speaker today, or one of the first. Let's do this. What if I told you that you can sell more, make more money, and get promoted faster in your career, and work less at the same time? Sounds too good to be true, right? I wouldn't believe it until I saw it with my own eyes. Pareto's principle states that 80% of our results come from 20% of our effort. In sales, that means 80% of our revenue come from 20% of our customers. 80% of sales commissions are earned by 20% of sales reps. 80% of your success can be achieved in 20% of your time. In sales, Pareto's law is an absolute game changer. However, the reality is, most of us are working too hard, working too many hours in our day. We're not getting the rest and the recovery that we actually need, and as a result, we are not living the balanced lifestyle we deserve. So I asked myself, why? Why do we do that to ourselves? I checked out the 2023 Salesforce State of Sales report, and I was shocked by the numbers. 63% of sales professionals missed their quota in 2023. What's interesting is that they spend 28% of their time selling, and the other 72% on their calendar was focused on activities that did not directly contribute to their sales success. Today I will share with you 3 stories. These are stories from my own sales career, and they contain the principles that have helped me go from a broke college grad to top performer at Salesforce, to now 6-figure entrepreneur and coach, and as we can see lately, keynote speaker in 5 years. And you can do that too. The following 3 stories will contain the principle to master Pareto's law in sales and unlock the code to unlimited sales success. Good on time. In 2018, I joined the #1 SaaS company in the world as an SDR, Salesforce. My goal was simple: rise to the top as fast as possible. And the job was simple: make the cold call, book the meeting, close the sale. My AE would close the sale, but you get it. However, it felt like a rat race. I was busy all the time, I was working long hours, my monthly quota seemed out of reach, my performance was average. I was even questioning, is sales the right career choice for me? And then one morning, my manager pulled me into a room. He told me I was to be working with a new account executive that they just hired out of Switzerland. His name was Gabriel. Unfortunately, things weren't looking to be easier for me. My job was to help Gabriel crack into the most difficult accounts in Switzerland doing outbound. I checked this guy out on LinkedIn, and I couldn't believe it. He was only 2 years older than me. I estimated that it would take me at least 5 years to get promoted to where he was. I thought that was pretty unfair. I thought, either this guy lied during his interview process, or he's got the cheat codes I don't have. Then something surprising happened. Gabriel invited me to Switzerland to join him for customer meetings. I was a BDR. BDRs never go to customer meetings. And the best part, the whole trip would be paid by the corporate American Express card. Zurich, here I come. I remember it as if it was yesterday. I landed early in Zurich. It was a sunny October morning. It felt so refreshing to get out of the rain in Dublin. It's pretty rainy today too, but I think you feel me. Gabriel was already waiting there in his black BMW convertible. The guy looked like nothing I imagined. Tall, good looking, wearing a casual suit, sunglasses, his hair bun in a ponytail. Guess I'm doing something right. And he told me his career story. He started out as a BDR himself. He lived in Portugal at the time, together with his grandmother. And he was making cold calls for a Swiss-based tech company. So we're cruising through Zurich in his black BMW convertible, and he tells me this story. He said, "You know what, Chris? I never enjoyed making cold calls, but it needed to be done. All I wanted to do is surf the waves outside my grandmother's house. But what stood between me and surfing those waves was booking one outbound meeting per day. If I can book one outbound meeting per day, I'm going to hit 200% of my quota, and my company is going to promote me fast to account executive." He said, "Some days I never got to surf. Other days I would go surf at noon. But it didn't matter. I made a commitment to do my number one most difficult task first thing in the morning." So you might be wondering, what does this have to do with Pareto? Simply this. Our most uncomfortable tasks are usually what will bring us the most results. Cold calling that CEO, do it first thing in the morning. Preparing that difficult demo presentation, do it first thing in the morning. Following up on that deal where the prospect has ghosted you, do it first thing in the morning. In life, pain equals progress. Now, if you're still wondering why in the morning, there are 3 reasons. Number 1, willpower is a finite resource. It's much easier to resist a bar of chocolate 6 a.m. in the morning than it is 6 o'clock at night. In the morning, we are simply the strongest to execute our most difficult tasks. Number 2, mental capacity. Think about cold calling. It's like a workout for your brain. You need to have an opener, handle objections on the spot. You will simply do a much better job in the morning when your brain is the freshest. And then number 3, your environment. The level of distraction increases throughout the day. In the quiet morning hours, you're just less likely to be distracted, and you're going to reach your prospects much more before they go into their first meetings. So do this. Listen to your pain and discomfort. They will reveal to you the 20% of your tasks that will bring you 80% of your results. Commit to doing these tasks first thing in the morning and block the first 2 to 3 hours of your day for focused work. And remember, be like Gabriel. You don't get to surf until you book that first meeting. In following 10 months, I sourced 4 million in pipeline and 2 million ARR for Salesforce. I broke some records, the quality of my pipeline was unmatched, and I quickly got promoted to account executive. Luckily, I had a great manager too. His name was Tom. Tom and I worked together for over 3 years. We had a very close relationship. Tom came from a consulting background. He was very analytical and he paid attention to detail. Very much unlike me. Tom loved organizational rigor, updating the CRM, updating the forecast, completing mandatory training. He knew that this was the key to Salesforce's success as an organization. I very much disagreed. I always felt like this admin work doesn't serve me, it only serves leadership. So I neglected it, which caused some conflict. It actually drove him nuts. One day I said to him, "Tom, I don't get paid to be an admin, I get paid to sell." So my attitude was really bad. And not only did it impact the relationship with my manager, it actually also impacted my sales performance. Admin work would regularly pile up in front of me. It felt like weight on my shoulders. It took up space in my brain and made it hard to focus on the one thing that I really wanted to do, selling. But one day, I had an aha moment. What if my sales life could be so much easier? What if my manager wouldn't have to annoy and nudge me all the time to do my admin work? What if I could just create more space in my brain and focus more on selling? That day, I made a commitment. I made a commitment to stay on top of my shit. I scheduled 15 minutes at the end of each workday to get my admin work done, and 30 minutes on Friday to complete any mandatory training. To make it a bit more fun, I listened to my favorite music. Kanye West, Taylor Swift. Please don't judge me. I was surprised how fast and easy it felt, and I went into my Feierabend feeling so much better. I went from, this is an annoying waste of my time, to 15 minutes a day will create mental space and focus and help me focus on selling. So what happened? I shifted my mindset from victim to ownership. Instead of complaining, I took responsibility. Instead of focusing on the negative, I focused on how can this actually serve me? For example, what's the benefit of keeping the CRM and the forecast up to date? It'll help me manage my pipeline better and focus on the right deals. What's the benefit of completing my training every week? It'll help me solidify my pitch. It'll help me solidify my pitch in customer meetings. When we take ownership of our work, we stop resisting it. And once we stop resisting it, it actually becomes easy. It becomes light. When we take ownership of our work, we actually work less. So do this. Schedule 30 minutes at the end of your workday to get any of your admin work done. Focus on how it actually serves you. It'll free up your capacity to focus more on selling. And remember, be like me. Always stay on top of your shit. Who here would like to learn how you get 3 hours back in your day every single day? If that's the case, raise your hand. Who here would like to learn how you can get 3 hours back in your day every single day? Great, I saw a few hands. Awesome. So let me tell you about my coaching client, Kelly. Kelly approached me last year for sales coaching. She was an account executive at a large SaaS company. She had missed her quota 2 quarters in a row. She was afraid that she would get fired because she wasn't selling enough. Her confidence was crushed, and she felt like an imposter. The first thing I did was I said, Kelly, show me your calendar. And I immediately realized she was trying to do way too many things. Her number one challenge was task prioritization. I actually took it one step further with her, and I had her do a time audit. So when you do a time audit, you keep exact track of how you spend your time down to 15-minute increments, and you do that for 1 entire week. For most people, the time audit is a real eye-opener because there's a huge gap between how we think we spend our time and how we actually spend it. Most of us underestimate big time the amount of time that we spend every single day being distracted. Just to name one example, check out the screen time on your phone. Kelly was shocked by the result of her time audit. She realized she spent 50% of her time on non-sales related activities. I'm talking about responding to emails, responding to Slack messages, responding to LinkedIn messages, and more. Why did she waste so much time? Why did she waste so much time? And the answer is one powerful chemical in our brains. Dopamine. Dopamine is known to be our brain's reward system. It's released in response to pleasurable experiences such as eating fast food or getting likes on social media. I know a thing or two about that. Our modern society has trained us to become addicted to what's called cheap dopamine. Cheap dopamine is basically instant gratification, but it lacks any long-term fulfillment. In sales, cheap dopamine is your worst enemy. It prevents you from accomplishing your number one task. It sucks you into doing a bunch of busy work. For example, inbox zero, the compulsive need to respond to every single email coming your way. Slack channels. Did you actually know how the dictionary defines the word slacking? It literally means neglecting order or discipline. So when we jump on cheap dopamine activities, we literally lack the discipline to use our time more effectively. So how can you escape the cheap dopamine trap in sales? And I'm not saying you have to go cold turkey and eliminate this wonderful chemical. What I suggest is you use dopamine strategically. I propose that you are in control of when you give yourself your dopamine. Use it as a reward mechanism after strenuous work. For example, after you do an hour of cold calling in the morning, or after you had a challenging customer meeting in the afternoon. I instructed Kelly to do exactly this. I told her to schedule 2 30-minute blockers in her day for her cheap dopamine activities. One in the morning before lunch, after she got all her prospecting done, and then one in the afternoon after her customer meetings. For Kelly, it did true wonders. It freed up 3 hours in her day that she could focus now on revenue-generating activities, which basically doubled the amount of time that she would spend every single day on sales. Do you think that could have had an impact on her sales career? Her transformation in the following 90 days was unlike anything I had ever seen. After missing her quota for 7 months, she hit 160% of her quota the following quarter. She was #1 on her team's dashboard, and she actually hit her quota halfway through the quarter with 30 days left to sell. What's the key takeaway of this story? Strategic dopamine release leads to sustainable focus. So do this. Schedule 2 to 3 blockers of 30 minutes throughout your day. Use them to do all of your busy work, all of your dopamine activities, email, Slack, LinkedIn, whatever it is for you, and use them strategically after your focus block. The benefits: you will have more focus, you will deliver higher quality of work, and you'll be done working much faster. And remember, be like Kelly. Use dopamine strategically to your advantage. All right. I'll summarize these 3 stories. To master Pareto's law in sales and unlock the code to unlimited sales success, you have to follow the 3 principles. Number 1, do your most uncomfortable task first thing in the morning. It's when you're the strongest. Number 2, take ownership of non-sales related activities and focus on how they actually serve you. And number 3, use dopamine strategically to your advantage and reward yourself for doing really hard focused work. Once upon a time, I believed that the only way for me to sell more, make more money, and get promoted faster in my career was to work harder and to work longer hours. What I found is that these 3 principles are very simple, yet effective to give me a competitive advantage in my career. Please, do not treat this talk as information, because any information is useless without implementation. Start applying these principles today. And if you would like my help with that, and if you're interested in working with me together as your sales coach, all you have to do is scan this QR code, and you can book a free call with me. And anytime over the next couple of months, doesn't have to be at this event. My slots are basically booked out, that's why. So thank you so much, everyone, for listening. Enjoy the 2024 Artist Circus, and I'll see you at the after party.